1990 marked a turning point in history. Amidst this global transformation, two Asian giants, India and China, stood at a crossroads. Both nations had long been burdened by poverty and underdeveloped economies. They shared similar populations and faced comparable challenges. For decades, both countries had followed socialist economic policies with limited success. India, under Indira Gandhi, had nationalized industries and implemented strict regulations. This stifled private enterprise and hindered economic growth. China, still reeling from the Cultural Revolution, was only beginning to experiment with market reforms under Deng Xiaoping. The year 1990 saw India facing a severe balance of payments crisis. This forced the government to adopt economic liberalization. China, on the other hand, was witnessing rapid economic growth following the implementation of Deng Xiaoping's reforms. The paths chosen by both nations in the early 1990s would have profound implications for their future trajectories. In the early 2000s, the term Chindia gained prominence. This term captured the optimism surrounding the combined economic potential of China and India. Analysts marveled at the sheer size of their populations and their burgeoning middle classes. The concept of Chindia was more than just an economic forecast. It represented the hope that these two emerging giants would cooperate, becoming engines of global growth. The logic was simple. China, with its manufacturing prowess, could become the world's factory, while India, with its burgeoning IT sector, could emerge as the world's back office. This optimism was further fueled by the growing trade between the two nations. China became a major source of manufactured goods for India, while India's IT services found a growing market in China. However, this optimism was not without its critics. China's economic transformation since 1990 has been nothing short of remarkable. The country has witnessed unprecedented economic growth, lifting millions out of poverty and becoming the world's second-largest economy. This success can be attributed to a combination of factors, including strategic economic reforms, ambitious infrastructure investments, and a relentless focus on education. At the heart of China's economic miracle lies its decision to embrace market reforms. Starting in the late 1970s under Deng Xiaoping, China gradually dismantled its centrally planned economy and opened up to foreign investment. Special economic zones were established, offering tax breaks and other incentives to attract foreign companies. These reforms unleashed a wave of entrepreneurship and innovation, propelling China's economy forward. Recognizing the importance of infrastructure for economic growth, China embarked on a massive infrastructure development program. Highways, railways, airports, and ports were built at a staggering pace, connecting the vast country and facilitating the movement of goods and people. In contrast to China's bold strides, India's economic journey since 1990 has been marked by a mix of progress and missed opportunities. While India did embrace economic liberalization in the early 1990s, its reforms were more gradual and less comprehensive than China's. This hesitancy can be attributed to a number of factors, including political instability, bureaucratic hurdles, and social resistance to change. One of the biggest challenges facing India has been its cumbersome bureaucracy. Despite efforts to streamline regulations, businesses still face a labyrinthine system of permits, licenses, and approvals. This bureaucratic red tape stifles entrepreneurship, discourages investment, and slows down economic growth. Another major obstacle has been India's inadequate infrastructure. While China has made significant investments in its roads, railways, and ports, India continues to lag behind. Poor infrastructure increases transportation costs, hampers logistics, and makes it difficult for businesses to operate efficiently. Education plays a crucial role in economic development. A skilled and educated workforce is essential for innovation, productivity, and overall economic growth. In this regard, China has made significant strides while India has lagged behind. China recognized early on the importance of investing in its human capital. The government made education a top priority, expanding access to primary and secondary education and investing heavily in vocational training and higher education. As a result, China's literacy rate has soared and its workforce is increasingly skilled and competitive. India, on the other hand, has struggled to provide quality education, to its vast population. Despite efforts to increase enrollment rates, the quality of education in many schools remains poor. Another key difference between China and India lies in their approach to global engagement. China has aggressively pursued a strategy of global economic integration, joining the World Trade Organization, signing free trade agreements, and investing heavily in developing countries. This outward-looking approach has allowed China to access new markets, secure raw materials, and become a major player in global trade. India, on the other hand, has been more cautious in its approach to globalization. While it has benefited from increased trade and investment, it has also maintained protectionist policies in certain sectors. This inward-looking approach has limited India's ability to fully participate in the global economy. China's global economic strategy has also been characterized by its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative. This massive infrastructure project aims to connect China to Asia, Europe, and Africa through a network of roads, railways, pipelines, and ports. India, in contrast, has been wary of the Belt and Road Initiative, seeing it as a tool of Chinese expansionism. Despite the challenges, India's economic journey has not been without its successes. One notable bright spot has been the rise of its technology industry. Indian IT companies have become global giants, providing software services, outsourcing, and consulting to businesses around the world. This success can be attributed to a number of factors, including India's large pool of English-speaking engineers, its relatively low labor costs, and its government support for the IT sector. The Indian government has implemented policies to promote the growth of the IT industry, such as tax breaks, infrastructure development, and the creation of special economic zones. India's tech boom has created millions of jobs, boosted exports, and helped to improve the country's image globally. As China races ahead, India stands at a critical juncture. To unlock its true economic potential and catch up with its neighbor, India needs to implement comprehensive reforms, address its infrastructural bottlenecks, and invest heavily in education. The time for incremental change is over. What India needs is a bold and ambitious vision for the future. First and foremost, India must tackle its bureaucratic hurdles. Streamlining regulations, reducing red tape, and simplifying the process of doing business are essential for fostering entrepreneurship, attracting investment, and promoting economic growth. The government must also address corruption, which acts as a drag on economic activity. Secondly, India needs to invest heavily in infrastructure. Building modern roads, railways, airports, and ports will not only facilitate the movement of goods and people, but also create jobs and attract investment. The government should also focus on developing renewable energy sources to meet the country's growing energy needs. Thirdly, education must be a top priority. Investing in quality education at all levels, from primary to higher education, is crucial for creating a skilled and competitive workforce. The government should also focus on vocational training and skill development programs to equip young people with the skills they need to succeed in the 21st century economy. Finally, India needs to adopt a more outward-looking economic policy. The path ahead is not easy, but the rewards are great.